Have you ever tried to max out a game and get all of the achievements just to realize there is one or two ones that are absolutely dreadful to get? Yeah, me neither. So with that being said, don't waste any time and let me introduce you to this achievement, the Minigame Master. You may not be aware, but in every Yakuza game there are minigames what you can do if you get bored of the main story or you just want to relax a bit. And for the most times you have a few achievements for these minigames, like get a turkey while bowling, sing all the songs at karaoke, or catch a tuna. But sometimes the devs go a little too overboard and try to implement a challenge into the achievement to make it harder to max out. And I have no problem with that. I like a challenge myself, I like figuring out gameplay mechanics and strategies on my own without looking them up. But sometimes you just physically can't do it because all you get is complete all minigames.
What does this even mean?
How do I complete all minigames where most of them doesn't end until you quit yourself? So I figured I'll just play every minigame once and I got nothing. I had no idea what I'm going to get myself into, so I looked it up and this is all the things you have to do in order to get this trophy. Who and how in the right mind of theirs figured this out without any indicator? This is like figuring out how to fly a plane while the plane is falling down and you have to get it through trial and error, and which in the case of the plane is going to result in a...
Oh. God damn it!
So let me guide you on this never-ending path of Yakuza 3's Minigame Master achievement. And I know this topic is probably the least interesting one you've seen on YouTube today, but I just have to get it off my chest and talk about it. But first, let me introduce you to this bad boy right here. This was the Excel file that I used to make this completion possible in the first place. There are blank markings for things I haven't done yet, yellow if I think I got them because maybe I miscalculated somewhere, and green if I obviously got it. Because inside the game there are no indicators whatsoever about this. And here on the side are my little counting places where I can look if I beat everyone who was necessary or if I got the point needed for the achievement. It's a really good system and served me well on my journey. In roulette you have to win 20,000 chips, in blackjack you have to win over 10,000 chips in one session, and in poker you have to win 10,000 chips cumulatively in a single session. And because using cheat items is completely fine, most of the get X amount of points wasn't the problem at all. So these ones were easy. And most people already know the rules of roulette, poker and blackjack. You bet, you watch, you lose. It's easy to learn. But Shogi is a little harder to get the hang of, because it's basically Japanese chess, and I learned how to play Shogi because this one line in No Game No Life.
何も不思議なことじゃない。将棋でも超一流の棋士なら飛車角金銀桂香の10枚落ちだろうと相手を完封しきる。その実力差は多少のルール違反でひっくり返るもんじゃない。
And I'm not even joking. I watched No Game No Life and I was like, I've never heard about Shogi. Let's see what it's all about. So I learned the rules, I learned how to play Shogi, but for this achievement you don't even need that. You just have to win 5 times, and that may sound a lot if you don't know anything about Shogi, but you can get the 5 wins in the challenge mode, which is insultingly easy and straightforward. You just have to what I did here 5 times and you are done. And I would list karaoke in the same difficulty as Shogi because it's actually pretty fun. If you are a Yakuza player who doesn't like karaoke, then what are you doing with your life? All you have to do is to get 900 points in all 6 songs and have fun. But after all this singing, let's relax a bit. Let's get some nice chilling massage. Massage! Okay, it stays that way, I don't care. Massage! Get 20,000 points in the first course and 30,000 in the second course. If you keep the pointer in the orange zone, you should be done relatively quickly. Okay, but after this nice relaxing massage, let's turn into more dangerous waters. UFOs. And UFO stands for useless fucking orchestra. They are not good for anything and they are annoying. There are 25 of these bastards and the hitbox is worse than in Monster Hunter. I watched 2 1.5 hour long Gabriel Iglesias special while doing this. At least Fluffy made it fun to do this, but that doesn't matter when one part out of 19 of your achievement takes 3 hours to do. Yeah, I don't know if Toy Story is real, but these plushies can rot away in that cabinet forever. And if you're already in Club Sega, you can do the shooting minigame, where my biggest tip is just keep flying into them. This way you can eliminate them easily and get to level 15 in no time. Alright, how much do we have left? More than half of it? Oh my goodness. Alright, let's try baseball because... oh, that's a baseball! To be honest, I did this at the beginning, so I don't really remember how hard it was. Which is a good sign really, because if I don't remember it, then it wasn't that hard, right? You have to earn 1800 points in all courses. I remember Yakuza Kiwami's 2 baseball thing was a lot harder than this, so I guess Yakuza 3's baseball wasn't that hard. The other thing I did at the beginning was golf, so I don't really have memories about it either. All I remember that at the beginning I didn't even know what I had to do, but after figuring it out I think I was relatively quick and it wasn't that complex. I don't particularly like golf in this game. It's fine, but it's really janky and has weird controls and I can never get it to work properly. The hills don't help either, I can never tell if I'm going to make a shot or not, which makes me second guess myself, resulting in an over or undershoot. But if you played Yakuza 3 then you know we are not done with badly controlling minigames, because those underpaid game developers all the way in the land of the rising sun couldn't get the pool controls right either. It's impossible to get a clean shot even when the Bible is clearly aligned with the ball you want to hit, it just won't hit it no matter what. And you have to defeat all 4 opponents in all 3 modes, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Because in the hardest mode you can only make one mistake, because the AI will only fail once in the entire game. So if you miss, and you miss again, then he just won't give you another chance. I personally love pool in other Yakuza games, to the point where sometimes I just download Kiwami again to play pool, because it's really good there. It's really good there, but here it's awful. And this is a perfect segue to pool, because you have the same structure here, you have to defeat everyone in every category. I never really mind darts in Yakuza, it was always fine for some side stories, but I would never go there to play it for fun. The controls are not that bad this time, but you don't have any indicator where you are going to throw the dart, which is fine, but you just have to feel it. But after a lot of practice it's manageable, it's not that difficult. The only problem with this is, instead of 4 AI players like in pool, there are 6 this time. 3 in Kamurocho and 3 in Okinawa. Okay, let's get to the real talk. Kids, get out of here. The adults are talking now. If you did this trophy, you may have noticed how I avoided one part of this whole thing. The gambling hall stuff. What made anyone make this part of the achievement when there are no cheat items for the Hanafuda card games? Who told that it's a good idea to make your players get 10,000 points in Koi Koi when out of 15 games my average was 686 points? In Chilo, you need 20,000 points! What?! I played 17 games and my average score was 1,274. At least that one had a cheat item, but still, it was a lot. From the gambling hall, probably Chohan was the easiest, but you need an insane amount of luck. It's a fairly simple game, you just have to guess if the dice is going to be even or odd. Apparently, your max bet will increase, but it didn't happen to me. But after some wins, you get the chance to play against the house. So my suggestion is to use the even Goro cheat item after you guessed all 2 numbers correctly, and then win 1 or 2 games against the house, and then use the even Goro for a free win. The most points I got for one win was 16,000, which is a lot. So it's not impossible, you just need a lot of patience and a year worth of luck. And as I was playing Koi Koi over and over and over again, I realized the little nuances of this game. It didn't become my favorite per se, but now I can appreciate it a lot more, because there are a lot of tactics going into it. It took me 6 bloody hours and 4 hours was in one sitting, so I had to grow a healthy relationship with this game if I wanted to make it out alive. It's kinda like poker or mahjong, where you have to build your hand with Hanafuda cards. At first I just tried to build my hand as fast as possible, but after playing for so long, I learned all the card combinations you can get and realized there are a fair amount of strategy behind this. Once you know how many cards are there from every single type, you start to count the cards and try to build your hand while sabotaging your opponent. But you also have to time your actions correctly so your opponent doesn't steal your card you want, but you can still build a strong hand. And you can steal cards from them, but you are not 100% sure if they have a card or not. And you have to save up your cards to build a stronger hand, but the card you want may not come at all, so it's also luck based. I know it sounds a lot at first, but you just have to learn the hands and play a little to know what to do. Pretty tiring on your mind. At the end of my 4-hour session, it was around 2 AM and I was just dead mentally. But at least you don't need to watch 3.5 hours of explanation for this like you have to do it for other stuff, so it's not insanely complicated at least. And then there is Chohan, which is literally just a blackjack with Hanafuda cards. I actually don't know which card was what point, but at the end it was really easy because you just press buttons and you win. It's not that hard. Alright, we're almost there. Bowling was okay. I kinda like the physics of bowling in this game, so it wasn't that difficult. You have to score at least 200 in one 10-frame game. The controls are not that messed up as in pool or golf, so I don't know why the guide I used had a problem with it. And because you are in Okinawa, you can fish. You have to catch 8 different types of fish, but at the same time, every second catch is going to be a coral branch or a fucking umbrella. And if you want to catch the tuna, that's going to take you 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, it's not as bad as I played it out to be. I quite enjoyed fishing in this game. Even the really long tuna catching was fine. It just can be a lot back and forth between a sea and the market, and seemingly you always get umbrellas and corals. But keep the time of day in mind. There are fishes that are only active during the certain time, but if you got that, you are going to be fine. And finally, we are here. The end of the achievement. And what could be the last game to play? What else than mahjong? My favorite game and my favorite game to hate. Here is the time when the legendary 3.5 hour long mahjong explanation video comes up. For the Yakuza Kiwami Platinum Trophy about 3 years ago, I had to learn how to play mahjong and I immediately hated it. There were way too many hand combinations and weird rules. You have to analyze a lot of things at once if you want to win big. To this day, I still don't know every possible hand or understand the point system completely, but at the end I had a lot of fun and started to play mahjong outside of trophy hunting. But at the same time, this game is so goddamn difficult and hard to master that it should be illegal. Don't you agree, Zenki Zenkuro? Ah, of course you do. If I had to explain the game, I would say it's poker but better and more complicated. And no, this is not the mahjong for noobs. This is the real mahjong for big, hairy, smelly old men. But as always, I was dumb and misunderstood the guide. You see, I left mahjong for last, and all I knew was to get more than 50,000 points without the end bonuses, and since you start with 25,000 points, I assumed you have to get over at least 75,000 points in one session, because, you know, 25,000 plus 50,000 equals 25,000, right? Which, if you really think about it, it's not impossible, but since everyone starts with 25,000 points, you have to completely drain 2 people's points, which is really unlikely. But I'm awful at math and I don't think this through. So I just kept trying and trying until I just gave up and looked up a tutorial where I learned you have to get 25,000 points extra on your starting 25,000 to get to, you know, 50,000. Oh my goodness. But wait, I've already did that. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was around 63,000 points without bonuses. So I should have got the trophy. But because it was my last game left, I just relied on the game, because if I completed the task, I should have got the trophy, right? But because I didn't, I kept going on for a good 3 or 4 hours more. When I finally realized I already have the criteria, I went back to my amazingly made Excel board and looked over the probably games and figured I might have missed poker because I did it pretty early on, and at that time I didn't use Excel to actually count my points. So I went back and... I did it! I was so relieved that I did it. I didn't need to go back and think about what I was missing. For parts, it was actually fun. But for the most part, it was fun not because of the game itself, but because I watched other stuff while doing it. And for the most part, it was just repetitive and tedious. I like Yakuza 3, but now I understand why only 1.6% of people have this trophy, and it's crazy to think that I'm one of them. And after cleaning up the beach, I can finally say I finished Yakuza 3 100%. I do not recommend this challenge to anyone. But then why did I do it? Because this was the last hard trophy I needed to get the platinum. The other one was just collect trash from the beach. So I just wanted to complete it. And because over the years I got pretty used to games that repeat a certain gameplay element way too much, because I grew up on Assassin's Creed and Lego games. Oh, and fun fact, I actually collected everything in Assassin's Creed Origins. God damn it, I have no life. And because at times like this I can just sit back and enjoy a long podcast or any kind of video without needing to worry about actual progression in the game or the story. I just made this video in order to get my frustration out, but if you made it this far, then thank you very much. I think you should like and subscribe. Don't you agree, Zenki Zenkuro? Oh, Zenki, you are so kind. And as always, thank you for watching, have a nice day, and bye!